Okay, good afternoon, students. So today we will be starting a new chapter number 1, GST, Goods and Service Taxes. Okay, so let me tell you first something about GST. So GST, as we all know, it's a kind of a tax, and it's a new kind of a tax which came into force in India, in the year 2017, 1st of July 2007 to be specific. Okay, so see, to run a government, we need money. And the government will be collecting tax from each and everything that we buy, and then that we supply goods. So they need money. Okay, so this GST is all about that. And in this chapter we'll be come across to 3 different kind of words: CGST, which means Central Goods and Service Tax; SGST, State Goods and Service Tax; and IGST is the Integrated Goods and Service Taxes. Okay, so no, not to be so much of don't be in so much of confusion. Just try to understand what you mean by CGST. Okay, CGST. Now GST means Goods and Service Tax. So just add C, it becomes Central Goods and Service Taxes. Then after that, SGST, just add S. C stands for Central, and S stands for State. Central Government, State Government. Okay, and IGST means Integrated. Now, so what happens in CGST is, in CGST, the tax has been collected by the central government. The tax has been collected by the central government. So what happens in SGST then? The tax has been collected by the state government. Simple as that. CGST, Central Goods Service Tax collected by the state government, central government, and SGST means State Goods and Service Taxes collected by the state government for intrastate transaction. Now you might be, this is a new thing for us, intrastate transaction. I'm coming to this in the later portion of this video. Okay, and the third one is IGST, is Integrated Goods and Service Taxes. So now we come to intra-state and interstate transactions. Now see, whenever there is a supplies of goods, either it is within the state or either it is outside of the state, from one state to another. Okay, so for example, intrastate transaction means, the intrastate transaction means, this is number 1 and this is number 2. Okay, intra means within the state. Okay, intra-class competition. Okay, something like that. Okay, and inter means inter-class competitions. Okay, from one class, different other classes. Intra means within the class or within the state, and transaction means the movements and supply of goods from one place to another place. Okay, so intrastate transaction, what happens out here is, it is it's a case within the state. Okay, the seller, whoever is the seller who is selling the goods, will collect both CGST as well as SGST, and then after that what he'll do is he'll deposit CGST to the central government and then SGST to the state government, which means the tax, the amount of the tax collected will be divided to central government as well as to the state government. And be very specific out here, the tax will be divided equally. Suppose, for an example, if the rate of GST was 18%, and the case was intrastate transaction, then the rate of GSTs, the CGST will be of 9%, rate of GST for SGST will be also 9%. So only be clear with this point. Intrastate means within the state. In intrastate, we have to calculate CGST as well as SGST, and the rate of GST will be given in the question. For example, if it is 18%, then 9% for central and 9% for state. Okay, so there will not be any IGST. IGST will be nil out here in this case. IGST will be nil in case of intrastate transaction. Okay, inter now. Just the opposite, intra means within the state, inter means from one state to another state, supply of goods from one state to another state. So what happens out here is, it's very simple. In intra, you'll have to calculate CGST, SGST, but in interstate, we only have to calculate IGST. And here we don't have to divide it. With whatever is the rate of interest given to us, GST given to us, with the same rate of GST, we'll have to calculate our IGST also. So for an example, let's go through interstate transaction first. Interstate means supply of the goods from one state to another state. Okay, here the seller collects IGST from the buyer and deposits it to the central government. Example, if the rate of GST is 18%, then the rate of IGST will also be 18%. Okay, so far this much. Okay, and now I want you all to go to your page number 5, on your book, page number 5, and this note, which is very important before we start the exercise. Okay, now note number 1, GST is calculated on sale price obtaining after deducting discount, if any, from the list price. So what does it mean? It means that GST is always calculated on the selling price, not on the mark price. Okay, if the discount is given there, then we have to calculate the discount and subtract it from the mark price, and then we calculate GST on its selling price if the discount is given. Okay, so remember, the point number 1 is very important. GST is always calculated on the selling price, not on the mark price. Okay, point number 2, as we know that there are two state of transactions. Okay, the first case is intrastate transaction. Intrastate transaction means within the state. In this case, if the rate of GST is 18%, then CGST will be 9% on the selling price, and SGST will be 9% on the selling price. Don't forget, sale price means the selling price. Okay, so IGST will be 0. So this we have already discussed in case of intrastate transaction. And in case of interstate transaction, that is point number 3, here if the GST rate of GST is 18%, then we will only have to calculate IGST, which is integrated goods service taxes, and we don't have to divide it out here. Okay, it remains as it is. Okay, so therefore we have understood about CGST, SGST, HGST, as well as intra and inter. Okay, intra means within, and inter means from one state to another state. So I'll be doing the first question out here in this exercise. So for the following transaction within Delhi, fill in the blanks. Okay, so these are the given things to us. MRP, maximum retail price, is given to us, is the mark price. Okay, discount is given out here, 30%, and the rate of GST is 18%. Rate of GST is 18%. So the first thing that comes in our mind is what kind of transaction it is. So within, can you see the word there is within? So the case is intra-state. The case is intrastate, within the state. Okay, so whenever it is intrastate, then we have to list out in intrastate. I'll have to calculate CGST, SGST, and then IGST will always be equals to 0. I'll have to calculate CGST, SGST, and then the rate of GST is 18%, and we know that it will be divided equally, so 9% and as well as 9%. 9% of what? 9% of the selling price, 9% of the selling price. Are we clear with this? So once again I'm repeating, for the following transaction within Delhi, fill in the blanks. Mark price is given to us, discount percentage is given to us, and rate of GST is given to us. Since the case is intrastate, CGST I have to calculate, SGST I have to calculate, but IGST will be directly 0, which I don't have to calculate. CGST will be 9% of selling price, and SGST will also be 9% of the selling price. Selling price we need to also calculate. So we'll start with number 1, discount. Okay, a discount. Since discount percentage is 30%, so we'll have to subtract 12,000 minus 30% of 12,000. Okay, we know the calculations, this is basic maths, percentage. So 12,000 minus 30 by 100 into 12,000. Okay, so the first thing that we asked to calculate was discount. So discount means, what is the discount percentage? 30%. So you just have to calculate 30% of 12,000, which will be equal to 3600. So 3600 is the discount given to us. But what is the mark price? 12,000. So now question number 2, we have to calculate SP, that is the selling price. Number 2 is we have to calculate SP, which is the selling price. And remember that when I calculate GST, I'll have to calculate on its selling price. So selling price is the mark price minus the discount, 3600. So therefore this will be rupees 8,400. So this is our marked price. Sorry, this is our selling price. Now number 3, we are asked to find CGST. Since the rate of GST was 18%, so CGST is going to be 9%. So 9% of 8400, that is 9 by 100 into 8400, we will have to calculate. Okay, so therefore 9 by 100 of 8400 gets cancelled out, and you do the calculation. 9 into 84, 9 4 is 36, 3, 9 8 is 72, 7 for 75. So rupees 756 is going to be your CGST, as well as SGST is also the same thing, 9% of 8400, so which is going to be rupees 756. So CGST, SGST in this way. So first was discount, then selling price, then CGST, after that SGST. Since it is a case of intrastate, so IGST will be straight away 0. And then finally amount of bill, number 6, amount of bill. So amount of bill will be the mark price plus CGST plus SGST. Okay, so therefore that is 12,000 plus 756 plus 756. 756 plus 7. So 12,000 plus 756 plus 756, if you add it, then it will be 9,912. So this is how we find the amount of the bill.